kill that patient if he defibrillates him with bradycardia and a heart rate of 40. And the director of nursing just shook his head, and I turned around and he killed the dude. It's like going in the Twilight Zone. Like, everyone here is okay with this. Look, the only way I can kind of put this into context for everybody is, and this is going to be kind of an extreme example, this is like really the only thing I can come up with. It's like if we were in Nazi Germany and they were like taking the Jews to go put them in a gas chamber, I'm the one like there saying, hey, this is not good, this is bad, this is wrong, we should not be doing this. And then everyone tells me, hang in there, you're doing a great job, you can't save everybody. They're murdering these people.
That was Nurse Nicole Surtek. I did make a mistake. I guess she wasn't at Elmhurst while she was recording that video. But obviously, you're not alone. Inside of the hospital system where you work, are you alone? Are you a minority? Are you a majority? What's happening with the nurses? And many of you are journeyman nurses, right? Many of you are traveling into New York to help out. What would you say, how many people are looking at this the same way that you and Nicole are?
That's a good thing to bring up, because this is the problem I'm seeing with it. I actually spoke with Nicole on the phone last night and we were talking about this, is that the majority of the nurses there feel the same way I do. And we talked about it. I actually have it recorded. You know, I was there for a month and recording the entire time. So what people have seen is just a sliver. And all these nurses feel the same exact way, but everybody is afraid to speak out for the reason that they're threatened with obviously being sent home. If you ask, questions, if you try to, stick up for your patients and advocate for your patients like nurses are supposed to do, you are reprimanded. And, they say over and over, don't make any problems, keep it easy. We don't want to get kicked out, and a lot of it is just based around either being scared of what's going to happen to you, or, they don't want to lose that paycheck.
Wow. And it's actually, my understanding is you were in Florida, you were a nurse there, you were involved in treating COVID-19 patients there, correct?
Correct, yes.
Now, was there a difference that, like, we just heard a report about hydroxychloroquine. There's a huge, Lancet Papers just withdrawn this study that said that hydroxychloroquine was dangerous. Were they using hydroxychloroquine in Florida where you were?
Absolutely. So we use the hydroxychloroquine and we use the zinc. And when I arrived in New York, I found out very quickly that that was totally off limits. And if you did, or any provider did prescribe it, it would be grounds to be fired.
Where was that coming from? How high up did that go?
So it was from Governor Cuomo, and that was as early as March, right around March. And that's just how that's how it went, and you had to listen to it. And what I found is so ironic, in that same, those same orders, they granted all these medical professionals, they were all liability free if anything happened. So when you're inside these hospitals, already a very, hospital that has very bad reviews, it's public, you have liability-free medical professionals treating patients on ventilators with no family. So what do you think is going to happen?
That leads me to, in this incredible expose, what you described as maybe the worst day of your life. Remember, this is an Iraqi war vet who has seen a lot of bad days, I would guess. Take a look at what she describes as the worst day of her life.
A 37-year-old, which is my age, was not a DNR. He's a full code. His family in-depth discussed with the doctors that they want us to do everything they can to save him. He came in talking. He was very terrified. He was just like, totally alert, knew what was going on, and they convinced him to be on a vent. Now he's dead. But the doctor said when I got into shift that if he codes that we are not to resuscitate or try to save him. And we flipped.
This is important. I just asked them if we can put a DNR order and they said no. That's up to the attending.
Okay, so we're gonna code him.
That's what I said and they said no, we're not. I said yes, we are. We're obligated to. So then I
You
said,
gotta say something though, like it's our license, unfortunately you guys gotta put in an order, just something.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said I'm obligated.
Yeah.
What did she
So
say?
then she's like, the higher up said. I said, I don't care what they said.
What higher up? God? We don't have a God here making
I
decisions.
said, I don't care what they said.
So we're supposed to. He's not DNR, but we're treating it as DNR.
Basically.
Does his family know?
His family knows the situation. I think they called them and they told them. They were trying to do a school attending consent for DNR. All day he spent like in the 80s saturating. It was this one on the forehead didn't work. It was this one worked, and that came back. When I changed it, I was like, oh shoot, it's 90.
Yeah.
So they started playing around with the
Oh
fence
shoot,
thing.
it's
'Cause
90.
he's still on pressure.
He changed the pulse ox
You put him on EC,
from
drop.
his head to his finger, and he's like, oh, it's 90. He's fine.
Well, Elmhurst does have a policy given, like a COVID policy, given the scarcity of
Right.
dialysis and blood.
It can be a chem code, it can be whatever.
That it's not, there's not it's a difference. Normally the standard is whatever the family says, like we just do. So if they would say code him for 5 years, like you just do that until they die. It's a little bit different now because of the new policy in place with Dr. put in place, which is that you don't need full family like you can just tell someone that it's medically futile and that we're not willing to just pour blood and resources into something that would be impossible to get back. But look, he's 37.
All I can think about is that at least he knows that we were fighting for him when he died. You know.
Aaron, we hear that the victims of COVID-19 tend to be over the age of 65 and suffering from other life-threatening illnesses. What you are describing and talking about, this is a 37-year-old man, correct?
Yes.
And as a nurse, it seemed, look, I understand there are scenarios where, you can't resuscitate or it really wouldn't make sense. Someone is so far gone. But can you tell me what it was like to be hearing that and going through this over a young man with his whole life ahead of him, a family that is unable to visit and see how he's doing? You're the only person representing that family in that moment, are you not?
I mean, he's all that we had, he doesn't have a voice otherwise, and like these families are trusting in us to be taking care of them and trust us to do our jobs right. And if they don't have a good nurse, they really don't have a chance at all. And even if they have a good nurse, who's to say the next nurse on the shift or the next doctor on the shift is going to be good too? And it just goes against every single thing that we've ever learned and that we're taught to do as nurses, just to be ethical. And when something's wrong, we have to speak out about this, because if we don't do it, then who's going to? And whatever it takes and whatever I have to risk, at least I know that I'm giving these patients and their families the justice that they deserve. And so be it.
Can I ask you, was this gentleman confirmed to be COVID-19 positive?
At the end of his life, yes. Hospital acquired.
So he got it while he was in the hospital.
Yes.
If you could get a message to Donald Trump right now, who is having to make decisions, I think obviously, he can speak to Tony Fauci, Debbie Birx, these people that are in, what do you need our leadership to know What do you want the National Institute of Health to know? What do you want Andrew Cuomo to know?
I want them to know that what is happening, and even still, it's still happening. I have friends that are still there. That we need a federal investigation immediately. We need to go there and we need to flip tables over. We need to go through every single chart. And we need to contact every single family because a lot of bad stuff has happened. There has been no autopsies allowed. And we just need to go to the absolutely highest power, because I am just one person, but I know that there are a lot more people out there that have a lot more power than me. So I am willing to risk everything in order to bring justice.